model. So it's a planning and performance measurement model to analyze the firm's product range and plan future investments. So generally, it's not an implementation model. It's actually a planning model. And also, we use it to measure performance of either a product or service to see how they perform, and also the future investments you could assess through this model. And it requires us to look at the total market size, the total market growth rate, and the firm's market share, and changes in the firm's market share for each product. So generally, what does that mean? The purpose of the BCG model is to analyze a company's product portfolio. So a company has a range of products and they need to make strategic decisions about it. So the strategic decision looks at resource allocation, costs, and how to maximize benefits. So the analysis involves looking at the market size where those products are being sold, and the market growth rate, and the firm's market share in that market, and changes in the firm's market share for each of the products they have on that product line. So generally, they are planning for another phase of the product, or measuring the past performance so that they can do better in future. So there are 4 categories of products based on the market growth rate and relative market share. So the 4 categories of products on a company's portfolio based on the BCG matrix speaks to 4 of them. And number 1 talks about stars. Number 1 talks about stars. Then number 2, cash cows. Number 3, question marks, which are also known as problem child. And number 4, dogs. Number 4, dogs. So there are 4 components to the BCG matrix, and they are the categories we're talking about. So we have stars, and stars are the products that perform very well and are growing highly in the market. They have a dominant market share. So those products are stars. So if you look at Coca-Cola, look at Fanta, you look at, remind me, which products are on the Coca-Cola line? Coca-Cola, Fanta, which one again? Let's have 4 and see.
Right.
Sprite, 3, good. There's more. Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, and no, it's not all. They have more than that. Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite.
Maybe before, but not now. Yes.
They have, even now, they have more than 4. Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite. Are you sure? They have more than only 3. How can a whole Nigerian bottling company have only 3?
That's what they have. Some people just go for crew. Before they have all them ginger ale, Fanta tonic, all those things, but they don't have that anymore.
Oh.
It's just 3.
Maybe because I don't take them, but then they have Schweppes. Schweppes.
It's Schweppes. Okay, it's under Coca-Cola now. Okay, that's true.
Yes. Then there's Everwater. Ever is their own too.
Everwater, yes, they do.
Yeah, then they have 5 Alive juice. That 5 Alive is their own too.
5 is still in the market.
Yes, 5 Alive is there in the market. Okay. It's there. So let's
assume a problem child. It's a problem child.
It's a problem child, Abi. All right. Yes. You already understand its application practically. So let's look at stars from those products. So let's look at Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, and let's say 5 Alive. Let's use those 4. So the stars in that product line of Coca-Cola. Let's say, which one do you think is star? In my opinion, I think Coca-Cola is a star.
But Shey said that it's a star. So now, which one is a cash cow? Because Coke is a cash cow and a star at the same time.
So we can categorize them as that. Though a cash cow is higher than star, but then you can see that Coke has high market growth rate. It has high relative market share. And new products Yes, and new products within the potential for high future returns require investments. So it will eventually grow and become cash cow. So let's look at Coke as a cash cow then.
Okay.
So on that line, maybe we look at Fanta as a star since it's the second. So let's look at Fanta as a star.
It's Fanta is star. Maybe we should look at Schweppes as a star.
No, Schweppes is still coming up. It's not as popular as Sprite and Fanta. So I don't think it's gaining much ground like Sprite and Fanta. So Schweppes, I think they just bought it from a franchise. The Schweppes should be around that, let's say, dogs or question mark based on their low market growth rate and what they are commanding in the market. Yeah, so let's look at Fanta as a star. And the star, it's actually growing, high potential for future returns, requiring more investment, more injection of resources to ensure that it eventually becomes a cash cow, as the growth may be slow, seemingly, and the pricing strategies in the market looks like market penetration or just skimming through the market. So the cash cow has low market growth rate, high relative market share. So that speaks to Coke. And is very profitable. It generates large cash inflows, essential for long-term survival and funding stars. So if we say that Coke is a cash cow, Fanta is a star.
There were Sprite.
There were Sprite. So we can make Fanta and Sprite as cash cows. Let's call them cash cows. Fanta and Sprite. Let's call Fanta and Sprite stars. Then let's call Coke. Let's categorize Coke as a cash cow. It has relative market share, very profitable, and has large cash flows. So the strategy to enhance cash cows is to maintain the market position, and that's what Coke has done over the years. They've sustained that market position and possibly reduced cost of production and cost of bringing the product to the market. It needs to be replaced eventually. So then cash cows may be wading out of the market. So improvement in the area of replacing them with new ideas. As you can see, cows have Coke has metamorphosed in branding and rebranding over the years to ensure that it stays and maintain or sustain that market share. So we now have dogs, low market growth rate. It's low relative to market share, often losing money actually to some extent. And the strategic decision is actually to withdraw it from the market. So looking at dogs now, between Five Alive and Schweppes, I think Five Alive is a dog. What do you think?
It's a dog, yeah.
Five Alive is a dog.
It's overstated, it's welcome.
Exactly. It's low, it has low market share, low relative market share, and they may be losing money or possibly getting money, but not as much as the stars and the dog and the cash cows. So normally the decision is
the water might be the style. What do you think?
It's not as popular as that though, because of the competition. Yes, Everwater. I can't remember when last I saw Everwater, except maybe in Lagos, but in the north, no. Except maybe in Lagos, it's popular. Yes, that's a question mark, I think. Yeah, it's a question mark because it's not too popular. It's just there. So the dog is Schweppes. I think Schweppes have very low market and they may not want to withdraw it so that they can sustain their products on the product line. Then, like you said, question marks are problem child. They have high market growth rate but low market share. So Everwater has been in existence, but then currently they don't have so much market share. Before they had high market growth rate, exactly. And they may also be losing money, so they may need to revamp them by investment, research and development, remarketing and marketing, rebranding, to turn those problem to a solution. So having looked at these 4 issues or these 4 components, the question mark might turn also into stars if proper research and development is injected, marketing and rebranding is infused for it. It may be able to weather the storm of competition, and it may turn the question mark or problem child into a star. But there's a risk of it becoming a dog if the market growth rate slows down. So investing in the strategic gamble could be the decision management to make. A strategic gamble is to see, let's see if we can rebrand it, add more 1 or 2 features to it by way of research and development, market it, promote it, and see if it becomes a star. But if it doesn't break through in the market, then it can become a dog and slow down the market growth. So the gambling is for management to see how to revamp it to ensure that it comes to light. So let's run back through what we just spoke to. So we said stars have high market growth rate, high relative market share, and the need to ensure that they become cash cows is by the decision of pricing strategies like penetrating the market with good price and skimming the market. Then cash cows are the ones, they may have low growth rate, but relative high market share and very profitable. And we spoke to Coke as an example of a cash cow. And we spoke to stars as Fanta and Sprite. Then the strategy to maintain a cash cow is to maintain that position and also rebrand it and think of a futuristic plan to replace it. Necessarily not maybe the contents, but the name, the brand name, to keep it relevant in the market. And dogs, we say...
What about advertisement? All the advertisement to keep it in the market? Cash cow.
Yes. A cash cow can stay, exactly. A cash cow, that's another strategy or another form of way to keep it in the market. And you could see that advertisement and publicity has kept all over the TV, the internet. You see all these big celebrities advertising it. Like you see on your social media, sometimes you are watching a YouTube video, you see adverts like Rema or Ayasatra carrying the Coke bottle and, showing you. So those are ways to keep the cash cow in the market. And it's a good strategy, and to maintain that market position and reduce cost in place of replacing it. But we're looking at a futuristic approach to ensuring that the product does not become a problem child. So the plan to replace it in future, if it's not working, will be in place, and that may be the area of killing the product. So we may eventually consider that, but currently it may not be considered. So we said dogs are like the Everwater that have low market growth rate, low relative market share, often losing money, but the strategic decision will be to withdraw it or to revamp it. And question mark, we spoke to Five Alive, high market growth rate, but low market share. Currently losing money, but it can be revamped through research and development, marketing, and might turn to stars if those strategies work. But it might turn to dogs if the market growth rate is slow. So the investment in it is a strategic gamble to ensure that those products achieve what they are supposed to achieve in the market by bringing value and also solving people's test problems. So the structure of the BCG matrix includes products, business units plotted as circles. The circle size represents sales value, and the position in the 4 quadrant indicates relative market growth rate. So by way of illustration, let's look at this matrix. So you can see that cash cows are by the right. The cash cow is down by the right, and the star is up by my right. The star has high market growth rate and also high relative market share, while the cash cow has low market growth rate and high relative market share. While by my left, you see the question mark and the dogs. The dogs have low market growth rate, low market share, but the question mark also have high market growth rate and low market share. So based on this strategic business unit and this matrix, you know that the question mark could become a star and a dog could become a question mark. So revolving around the matrix, you will see that for cash cow to have high market growth rate, cash cows would also become stars to have high market growth rate if the strategies are sustainable and implemented in the market. So under exam condition,
sorry, for question mark,
yes,
you said question mark has high growth rates.
High market growth.
Okay, and low market share.
Low market share, yes. High market growth and low market share. So it's going in the market, but it's not having market share. It's not capturing a lot of audience. So it's going in the market, maybe because of the price or the nature of the product, but it doesn't have large market share like stars and cash cow. So under market condition, under exam condition, we may need to draw this matrix in the appendix and understand how it works. So the stars and the cash cows are by your right. The stars are up, the cash cows are down. So the difference is that the stars have high market growth rate and high market share, while the cash cows have low market growth rate and high market share. While the question mark is up by my left, and the dogs down by my right. So just understand the matrix and the market growth rate and the market share. So the market growth rate are the main components and the market share to understand the table or this 2x2 matrix. And the relative market is high or low, and the market growth rate is also high or low. So the quadrant for stars, question marks, cash cows, and the dogs are in these 4 quadrants. So just understand it so that you'll be able to apply it. He has not tested it actually, so it's an examinable area in the exams or the future case study exams, but he has not tested it so far. So just understand the quadrant and know how to apply it by the market growth rate and the market share, each of these components command. Okay, so if we don't have any question, or do we have any questions on the BCG matrix? I can see Aisha is on the call. Julie will soon leave us.
Aisha, good evening.
Aisha, you're welcome.
Good. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Good evening, Juliana. Good evening, sir.
Welcome. Nice to have you.
We'll soon
miss Julie. She'll have to leave us for an urgent assignment. So, aside any question, we have BCG matrix done with. So this other powerful matrix, the Ansoff. Same with Ansoff matrix is also another area that he has tested once. Tested it once.
So tested like 2 or 3 diets ago.
Diets back.
2 diets ago.
Yes, May 2024. He tested it May 2024.
Yeah.
Okay, so this product market growth strategy focuses on growth via present and potential product market. So you're looking at penetrating the market, unlike the BCG matrix that speaks to what the products are doing in the market. So now you are focusing on growing and also having new products you want to bring into the market. So there are 4 product market combinations. We have market penetration, market development, product development, and diversification. So that's the 4 quadrants in this matrix. So it's a 2x2 matrix. We're looking at existing products and new products. We're also looking at existing markets and new markets. So we have 4 quadrants for the 4 strategies based on the Ansoff matrix. So based on this graph or the quadrant you could see on the screen, you'll see that for market development, we're expanding new products into new markets. So that's the first component. If you can understand the component, you'll be able to apply it under exam conditions. So the market development speaks to existing product entering new markets, not new products now, existing new products entering into new markets. So for example, we spoke to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is in Kano and maybe the metropolis in Kano, you want to penetrate the villages that have more population. So you may look at Coca-Cola that is in the existing market in the Kano metropolis. You want to enter into areas like Karaye, Madobi, and those intricate areas to bring the awareness, develop the market there for this product. So you are expanding your existing products into new markets. And that's what this first components of market development speaks to. And the second one speaks to diversification. You are introducing new products to new markets for growth. So Coca-Cola may buy a product that is new in Kano, maybe just buy, for example, Pop Cola, and decide to introduce it to those villages. So it's a new product and it's entering new markets for growth. So this diversification looks at moving from metropolis into another market, for example, to boost and build the brand in that place. And the third one speaks to market penetration. You are increasing sales of existing products in your existing market. And that's what it speaks to. So you are penetrating the market where you are entering into the nooks and crannies to ensure that your product goes viral in that same market. So you want to increase your existing products in the same market. So you do that by enhancing marketing, publicity, advertising, ensuring that the product is going viral in that same market. And the fourth one speaks to product development. You are creating new products for existing markets. So your existing market, you are not increasing sales now. You are introducing, for example, that Pop Cola that you are going to a new market. You are introducing Pop Cola to that same metropolis market. So on the yes, please, Julie, go ahead.
I gotta go now.
All right. Okay. See ya. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. So I'll come back when if you're still on.
Thank you. Yes. We'll be on till 10. All right.
Okay, sir. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we're still speaking to the Ansoff matrix and talking about the market development, diversification, market penetration, and product development. These are the four quadrants. So let's look at them one by one. So market penetration, like we said, is penetrating the market with your existing products in existing markets. So you are focusing on selling more of your existing product in your current markets. And this could be achieved through promotion, like I said, pricing, reducing your price, and distribution. And the aim is to increase your market share. Product wants to dominate the market and grow in the same. Also restructure matured markets by driving out competitors. That's the aim of market penetration. So increase usage by existing customers, drive value, make sure it solves their problem, and you build loyalty schemes to drive this. And that's what this loyalty or this first scheme or first component of market penetration speaks to. So it's not business as usual. If it's business as usual, it's a least risky strategy because it leverages on existing knowledge and resources. It's limited by market saturation also. So the market penetration strategy is a good one that helps us or aims to grow the product in the market and dominate the market very, very practically. Okay, so the next one is market development. Speaking to existing products, taking them to new markets. It means selling products you have in your product line to new markets through new geographical markets, like exporting, opening new branches around the country, franchising, and to ensure that new product dimensions or packaging are enhanced. You could also expand by having new distribution channels, Google advertising through the internet, selling via e-commerce, or having mail orders, So these are ways to develop the market. Also, differential pricing policies for new segments are also examples of developing the market for the products. This is riskier than market penetration due to targeting unknown markets. It's riskier because you don't know what those new markets bring, but the product development, but the new products could help enhance the product and make you visible in the other or in the new unknown markets you're penetrating. So that's for the second matrix. And the third one is product development. You have new products you are introducing into existing markets. So introducing new product to current markets or modifying your existing product is to ensure that your product develops and captures more attention. It requires new competencies and making the product appealing to existing customers. Through product changes, you change the outlook, you change the brand, you change the colors, you change the performance, and also the quality suitable for competition. And this is achieved through differentiation. So the emphasis on new product development or product development speaks to marketing emphasis, research and development, and innovation. Questionnaires through customer insights. What does the client want? And you enhance this to help them be first in the market. So what the customer needs is very important in ensuring that the product development is successful. And the last one is diversification. You are taking your new products to new markets. You are marketing new products in new market, and that's what diversification speaks to. This is the most risky among the four quadrants due to lack of experience in both areas. So it requires clear planning, clear objectives, clear aims, and risk assessment to be able to diversify. So what are the types of diversification? We have related diversification. You remain in a familiar industry. So for example, cake to juice manufacturing is a related diversification. So you remain in a particular industry. This is food industry, or you're moving from cake solid to juice liquid manufacturing. So it's a related diversification. An unrelated diversification means entering new industry without any prior connection, like moving from food industry to mechanical industry. They are unrelated in any way. So diversification will take both turns. So the potential advantages of diversification is you get high reward. Like they said, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. And diversification is the riskiest among the four components of the Ansoff matrix. So the resilience to navigate the market and weather adverse condition in one business line are the potential advantages of this strategy. So diversification is good, but it must be taken very carefully through planning, observing the objectives, and ensuring that every of the plans are executed carefully. This is very important. Okay, so having looked at the Ansoff matrix, I think I have only Aisha on the call. Do you have any question on the Ansoff matrix? Yeah, tested it once, and it's also...
Yes, in fact, I wrote the diet, they tested it, and I've still not gone back to know what it is.
Which diet was that? Was it May 2023 or November 2023?
Yes. It should be between that time, I think, November.
November 2023. Okay, so I would suggest that you go through this. When I share the slides, you go through this particular slide. This is slide 154, so that you understand how it networks. So it will help you to be able to speak to the fact that market development, market penetration, diversification, product development, and what it entails. So if you're able to grasp the concept, you'll be able to apply it to any case scenario that is presented before you.
So basically, the model speaks on new products, the entrance of a new product in the market.
No, not only new products in the market, plus existing products.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make reference to the slide.
Yes, please. So 4 things: new products, new markets, existing market. New products and existing products. So look at it that way: new products, existing products, then new markets, existing markets. Those are the 4 things you should take note of.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. All right. So let's run through the next model, and that speaks to gap analysis. He has not tested this before, but it's a very short analysis and very simple, in my opinion. It's a strategic tool used for comparing your target, that is what you planned, and your anticipated results to identify and bridge the gap. So you compare your current performance with your established standard. It's like budgeted and actual. So you're looking at gap analysis generally to see, okay, this is what I planned to do and this was what I did. Did I perform well? And in my performance, what were the gaps? So it's part of strategic planning. It helps you to be able to bridge what you have planned with what you have achieved. So gap analysis is simple. You can just look at it from the point of budgeting, budgeted and actual. And it examines your current performance to identify differences from the intended future state. So what you budgeted or you planned and what you achieve, you want to see how to bridge the gap so that in future, it will help you do better, improve your efficiency, your product, and profitability by focusing on your resources on those identified gaps to bridge them. And that's what generally gap analysis is all about. So the steps to gap analysis completion speaks to identify where you are currently, identify where you want to be. That's your desired future state. So based on what you've done in the past, what was the gap? Then number 4, you devise improvement to close those gaps. Very simple. So I'll go back go over that again. Identify your current state. Identify the desired future state where you want to be. What is the gap between your current and your desired future? And devise improvements, implement them to close those gaps. And that's what the gap analysis is all about. So there are types of gap analysis. Number 1 is the performance gap. So the difference between your expected and your actual performance. And that is driven by improvement, expansion, and diversification gaps. So what you've performed, you look at what you did before and what you planned before and what you did with that plan in form of actual performance. Then you improve on it, you expand that result. You also diversify to grow with that result, and that's what the performance gaps generally speaks to. So for example, we're supposed to achieve, or we plan to achieve, a revenue of 200 million, and actually we did 180 million. So you can see there's 20 million gap. Now, in assessing or using the gap analysis to improve, you look at your future to say, okay, next year, if I'm doubling that 200 million to 400 million, I should be able to meet at least 400 million revenue in actual. So I can improve by expanding my net and strategies and diversify to bridge that gap of 20 million. So that's what the performance gap generally speaks to. And the next one, or the next type of gap, is the product or market gap. The difference between your budgeted and actual, like we've been speaking to sales. So you have a product line, distribution usage, and competitive gaps. So you have a sales target, like I said, your revenue target, and the difference between what you budgeted and what you achieve actually based on the product line, distribution usage. You sit down and bridge the gap. And if you've exceeded the actual, you need to enhance it in performance. So the performance gap, looking at the product and market gap, can help you improve. All the aim of the gap analysis is to drive improvement. And the next type of gap is profit gap. The variance between what you targeted as profit and what you actually did in profit. And that is the profit gap. So if it's favorable, if it's adverse, you improve. If it's favorable, you improve upon it. If it's adverse, you bridge the gap. And that's what the profit gap speaks to. And finally, the manpower gap. The manpower gap is this discrepancy between what you required as a workforce or your human resources, between the number you have working for you and the number that is supposed to be available to make your work flow, or your work flow efficiently. So there's manpower gap where you have lesser staff doing more. So that's the discrepancy between the actual and what is supposed to be in the workforce. And that would actually affect quality and cause a lot of burnout for your staff. So manpower gaps need to be bridged to ensure that your production, your sales, your core activities and non-core activities are top-notch, achieving your objectives. So by way of recap, types of gap includes performance gap, product and market gap, profit gap, and manpower gap. So take note of these 4 components so that if the examiner tests it, you'll be able to grab at least the key gaps and be able to speak to them or apply them graphically with any scenario. So the uses of gap analysis is for sales, for financial performance, for human resources, for productivity, quality, cost control, customer satisfaction, staff satisfaction, energy conservation, market competitiveness, technical skills. The tools for gap analysis, we have models like McKinsey 7 model. We could also use SWOT analysis for gap analysis, use them to identify factors contributing to your gap and solve them. So that's generally the uses of gap analysis to help you improve generally in your business and to help you do well as a company. So it's a comprehensive model and quite simple. Just understand the components and how to apply them under exam conditions. So the types are very important, which is performance, product, market, profit, and manpower gap. So it's a short model, and I don't know if you have any questions because we are trying to run through them quickly. Any question on the gap analysis?
No. I like this gap analysis.
Yeah, I like it too.
It gives you a quickly run down all aspects of the business.
Exactly.
Looking at the performance, profitability, and which other manpower. In fact, that's the first time I'm looking at analyzing the manpower of your business. Interesting.
Yeah, I like it too. So come again, the four. You mentioned only 3, so mention the 4. I want you to catch the 4.
Performance gap, product and market gap, profits gap, manpower gap.
Fantastic. So that's it. So if you're able to grab those 4, you can speak to them, you can apply them under any condition, whether exam or office conditions. All right. So that's for performance. That's for gap analysis. So let's look at business capacity analysis, another short and nice model. It's a process of determining the capacity of an operation. So looking at production, your infrastructure, or the facilities you're using, you're looking at the capacity, what it's able to produce and what you are able to sell at a particular time or period. So the problem of the determination of your capacity is an analysis you need to perform, and your capacity will determine what you're able to produce and harness profitably. So it's very important. Business capacity analysis are carried out to help businesses to grow. So there are types of capacity analysis. We have production capacity. There's a peak for every machine or for every staff during production. So the peak throughout the system for orders processed, those you fulfilled, and those you are not able to fulfill that are still on demand is your production capacity. So maybe the market needs your product. Let's say you're into production of cement and the market weekly needs 1,000 bags of cement, for example, and your production capacity in a week is 500. You can see that your fulfillment is 500 and your demand is 1,000 in the market. You're only able to process 500 capacity of cement. So your production capacity the peak is 500 weekly. So you need to know the analysis, what the market demands and what you're able to produce, so that you can know how to drive production. And that's what business analysis is all about. So looking at the production capacity, how much capacity do you have, so that you'll be able to meet that capacity and not lose to competitors. What competitors do, business people do, is they look at those areas you are not performing or you are not meeting market demand and they come in. So where you have 1,000 demand and you are meeting 500, somebody can come into the market and you lose that market share. So to dominate the market is good to analyze your capacity by doing business capacity analysis. If it means building another plant or having workforce that can meet that 1,000 demand, is very good. And that's what production capacity speaks to. And it can be increased by automation, depending on what you are producing. You can also streamline your process, improve or upgrade your equipment to the required capacity and the market demand. It's very important, and that's what business capacity is all about. So speaking to production capacity, you can increase your capacity by automation, streamline process, equipment improvement by upgrades to maybe the recent version of that machine to meet the market's demand. So physical capacity of infrastructure and facility is another type. The available space for work processes and inventory can be increased by vertical space utilization, goods to person technology, drop shipping can help you physically enhance your capacity. We also have mechanical capacity. The peak throughput of specific machines, technology can be increased by repairs, by upgrades, or replacing those equipments. So when you do your analysis and you see your need, you'll be able to align graphically and solve those problems. So generally, we have 3 types of capacity analysis. Take note of it: production capacity, physical capacity of the infrastructure and facility, and mechanical capacity. So when you say production, physical of the facility, and also mechanical capacity are the types of capacities you could analyze to enhance and improve your business. So what are the strategies to increase capacity? There's the lead capacity. The lead capacity speaks to increasing capacity before demand materializes, and that's the risk of overestimation. So strategies of increasing capacity, you're looking at lead, and your lead is your demand, the problems you are solving, what people want from you, and that's the value you are bringing. So the value is to meet their demand, and when you've forecasted or projected that, okay, this demand will come, you look at your lead capacity. Can I provide it? The market needs 1,000 of cement. Can I produce it? So before it comes, the demand comes, you should be able to have the solution on ground. And that's where the risk of overestimation needs to be mitigated. And secondly is the lag capacity. The increased capacity only when demand increases, and you are risking stockouts and lower service. And that's the lag capacity. And this happens when the demand has happened and you cannot meet them. You lose you lose the market, you lose the client due to client dissatisfaction, you lose also the money, and you may be out of the market because somebody else can come as a competitor to do those things you are not doing, and it may be a problem in the long run. So the lead and lag capacity are strategies to increase your capacity. When you look at the lead, which you are being proactive, the lag speaks to being reactive. So please take note of the lead and lag capacity. This capacity analysis tool has not been tested, and we need to ensure that we are abreast of these components under exam condition. So after the lead capacity, lag capacity, the match capacity is also very important. The match capacity speaks to capacity.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Sorry to interject. The lead capacity. Okay, there are strategies for increasing capacity.
Exactly.
I was thinking they were just like a sub of maybe mechanical capacity.
Okay, no. So we have the types of capacity analysis. So there are types and there are strategies. So the types are 3 of them. So types, we have production, we have physical capacity,
and
we have
mechanical.
Exactly. So the strategies to be able to increase this capacity are the lead, which is being proactive, increasing your capacity to meet demand, while the lag is capacity to be able to sustain that demand and avoid stockouts. And the match capacity is speaking to capacity in smaller increments as demand grows. So you are trying to balance your lead and your lag. So match capacity is looking at increasing, growing little by little in the market. So those are the strategies you have. So we have the lead capacity, we have the lag capacity, we have match capacity, and those 3 strategies help you to stay relevant, bringing value to the market, and also your value proposition is top-notch. Very important. So the usefulness of business capacity is you identify weakness, helps you improve efficiency and enhance profitability. That's the usefulness of business capacity analysis. And it used to be an ongoing thing. It's not a one-off analysis. It's an ongoing analysis to help you stay in the market. And this is very important. I love business capacity analysis. We do it often here in the office by way of meetings, weekly meetings, monthly meetings, management meetings, quarterly meetings. All you are measuring your capacity, analyzing a lot of, and it resonates more with manufacturing companies. Manufacturing companies do this very often to stay relevant in the market. This is very important. So that will be the end of business capacity analysis. I don't know if you have any questions. Oga Maruf, you're welcome. Nice to have you on the call. I'm muted if you're speaking. Okay. Oga Maruf will speak to us. All right. Aisha, do you understand that business capacity analysis clearly?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let's move to the last model, strategic model, then we'll go on break. So this is the last strategic model, and that is resource audit. That will be number 12. And after this model, we'll go on break and come back to look at performance management tools. Okay, so resource audit helps you to understand your strength and weakness as an organization and your resource base. So it replicates the idea on SWOT, but in another dimension. So you are understanding your strength and weakness, and it helps you to determine the quantity of resources for strategic implementation and capability, understanding your capabilities. So resource audit is very important, looking at various resources varying from physical and human resources. So you look at your strength and your weakness, and those 2 areas are internal, and you are looking at it to harness your resources. So auditing your resource is your own personal job, and you're auditing yourself to see, can I do well physically or human resource wise? And that's what resource audit speaks to. So what are the types of resource audit? We have physical resources, like I said, property, plant and equipment. How have they aged? What is their current condition, the lifespan, the capability of your property, plant, and equipment, and the location of them? So you are auditing these personally and not through the normal year in, year out in a regulatory audit that we do. No, this one is the company doing it by themselves to see how their physical resources are doing, and that's how that's one of the types of the resource audit. Number 2, like I spoke to, is human resources. The people working there, harnessing. People make a company and not machines. People run the machines. So these human resources are even better than your physical resources. They are more relevant because the number of staff you have, the skills set of those staff the age of those staff, their qualifications, their knowledge, capability of employees are very important. So human resources is important. So for example, in your finance department, how many people are chartered? In your auditing department, how many people are certified auditors? So these qualifications and harnessing them both on the core front and the non-core area of your business will help you audit well and make sure you improve and your organization is relevant and have that capacity to provide goods and services to the public. So the physical resource is a type of resource audit, and the human resource is another cardinal and very critical type of resource audits. Then the third one is financial resources. Financial resources speaks to the use of funds. You need money to be able to run the company. The capital structure between equity and debt, working capital that speaks to your day-to-day running of the business in form of receivables, payables, and also financial resources to enhance stakeholder relationships. So this is what financial resources speak to. And we also have intangible resources, the goodwill in form of the brand, the image, customer loyalty, relationships built, public image of your product or service, and the quality and reliability of your product are also types of resource audits. Very, very important. So we have 4 of them. He has not tested this model also. So take note of the key components I want you to very importantly take note of. So for resource audit, we have physical resources, number 1. Number 2, human resources. Number 3, financial resources, which is physical, money. And number 4, intangible resources, which you cannot see. And they are very important for a business. So those are the 4 types of resource audits. How do we carry out resource audits? There are some guidelines. So consider all resources needed for implementation, and they are not limited to legally recognized assets. So you include external resources like assets, your networks. Somebody say your network determine your net worth, which is true. The contract you have with individuals, clients, and companies, then identify distinctly your capability to be able to harness and add to these your resources. It's very important. So resource audit is good, is a short model, but then don't forget the types: the physical, the human, financial, and the intangible resources. Very important. And the guidelines is to consider your resources and how to harness them. They are not limited to just physical assets, but the 4 of them. So you have internal and external resource. Your staff are your good human resources. Your external resources are those clients and individuals that bring business to you. So identify them, value them, harness them, and make sure that you are improving in the market. Okay, so do we have any questions on